breakfast today?
Eggs, sausage. Ooh, I ate pork, right? Old Testament.
If you're going to preach against homosexuality, and there are places in the Old Testament, why can't I bring up the fact that you ate pork this morning?
Jesus said you're not defiled by what you take into the body, but you're defiled by what comes out of the heart. Things like murder, things like lying, things like stealing, things like that. Then later in the New Testament, it says some people are vegans and some people eat meat. And it says basically don't judge a person based on what they're eating, but to each is their own. If someone has a weak conscience and they think they're sinning if they eat meat, then don't eat meat around them. But if you eat meat, then you're not sinning. So again, he's pointing to the fact that you're not sinning by just what you eat or what you put into the body. Jesus dealt with that law in the Old Testament and gave further understanding and revelation on that.
Right. What did you have to eat for breakfast?
Peace and blessings to the chosen. Shalom. First and foremost, all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shemel Shai. Double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Salutations to I can pushing this truth with sincerity and charity indeed. I'm the brother of Allah, and I'm titling this Swine's Flesh is Sin to Touch. As you've seen by the video in the intro, I got a few questions for Christians. For one, what about humans' flesh? What about cannibalism? Is it not a sin? Because that's also forbidden in the law, in the Torah, in the Old Testament. It's also forbidden. What about unaliving someone to eat their flesh? Is their flesh still cleansed by your ideology, by your doctrine? Now, as for the people that want the truth and or know the truth, we're gonna give the truth here. Malachi 3:6, for I am the Lord Yahweh, I change not. Therefore, ye sons of Jacob are not consumed. So why would the Lord change up the doctrine? Why would he just, oh yeah, no, I'm going to do something different now, right? That doesn't make sense. Sirach 34:4, of an unclean thing, what can be cleansed? From what that thing is, which is false, what truth can come? So how can a unclean thing produce something clean if it was already unclean to begin with? He said he's not going to change. That's odd, right? So we'll get another precept, and then I'm going to break down something that's got these Christians in a chokehold. So Matthew 5:19, whosoever shall break one of the least of these commandments and shall teach man so, he shall be called least in the kingdom of heaven. Now this is really referring to the Israelites, because the kingdom of heaven suffered violence to this day. And how is the kingdom of heaven suffering violence? Because the Israelites are in captivity to this day, from the blood of Zechariah to the blood of John the Baptist, and even till now. So this is really referring to the Israelites. But the point being is that you shouldn't be trying to tell people that it's okay to break the least one, or telling people that you should. That's odd and that's weird, right? But you do have some jakes that believe in this Christianity whoredom doctrine and this idolatry and this foolishness, right? But here in the red letters it says, and whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. So just because we are not able to keep the commandments to the most fullest way and in the most truest way, as in things as simple as suffer not a witch to live. The witch supposed to be put to death. You keep the commandments, this world is going to put you under the prison. So nevertheless, there are things that we cannot really live up to because of our captivity, and the Lord understands that. But something that you can control, like putting swine's flesh in your mouth when you could have got the beef steak, you could have got the chicken sandwich instead. Something as simple as what you can control is odd. and it's wrong. You know what I'm saying? When you had the power in you to do right and you chose not to, it's wicked. It really is. And yeah, it's sin nonetheless. It doesn't stop being sin just because you don't want it to be a. For what if some did not believe? So what you don't believe? 2 more precepts. Then I'll break down the Acts. Romans 3:3. For what if some do not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of Yahweh without effect? God forbid. Let the Most High be true, but Most High Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai be true, but every man a liar, as it is written. So, no, yeah. Let the Most High be true and every man a lie, right? But because what is it's written all over the law books. Swine's flesh is unclean. Well, not all over the law book. Forgive me. Slip of the tongue. I meant to say it's written in at least 2 law books. So in Leviticus and Deuteronomy. So the Leviticus 11:7. And the swine, though he divided the hoof and be clove-footed, and he chewed not, yet he chewed not the cud, he's unclean to you. I wanted the other one. This is Deuteronomy 14:8. And the swine, because it divided hoof, yet chew it not the cud, it is unclean to you. Ye shall not eat of their flesh, nor touch their dead carcass. So it's a sin just to touch their carcass. Now it's double sin if you consume it. It's 2 sin, is what I mean. It's 2 transgressions. And what is sin? To transgress the law. James, and this is the New Testament, James 2:9. But if ye have respect to persons, no. But it is in the New Testament. No, it's 1 John 3:4. Whosoever committed sin transgresseth also the law, for sin is transgression of the law. That's the New Testament, mind you. So that also shows you that this was written. The New Testament was written to Israelites. Why would this message be given to random people when Paul specifically says, I speak to my brethren, the children of Israelites, the children of Israel? Let me see if I can grab that too. It might be Romans, but I think it's something else. I think it is Romans, and it's like one of the top verses. See, you Christians, y'all got y'all doctrine all screwed up. All screwed up. He said, I write to them that know the law. I'm trying to find out which one it was, but I think it was in Romans. Since I quoted it, I'm trying to find it. If I don't find it, I'll just post it in the description. Yeah. Now that Acts, I believe it was 10. They try to use that to justify it, but that's not what that goes into. Acts 10 was a vision given to Peter because concerning Cornelius, because Cornelius was not common, or Cornelius was not formally of the heritage. He wasn't formal of the a part of the flock. He was a centurion. He grew up like a heathen, just like many of us did. and we're trying to return to our heritage, and we're returning to our heritage. And what is our heritage? What's been cut off from us? Yeah, it was Romans 7:1. Know ye not, brethren, for I speak unto them that know the law. Who knows the law? The ones that the law was given to. So, yeah, to the Israelites, the law of Moses. Period. Now, despite this law not being written to the heathens, for the most part, that's a different story. But they can't sit here and say that it's not sin to eat swine's flesh, because it's absolutely sin for the children of Israel to do so. This is the covenant that we signed with the Lord, not specifically signed, but agreed to. Okay, so I'll go to that Acts then, because what is our heritage? And who was the nation prophesied to lose their heritage? That's the part that we need to bring out. Jeremiah. I want the Jeremiah. Jeremiah 17:4. And thou even thyself shalt discontinue from thine heritage I gave thee. So what is that? Your heritage is your language, your culture, your spiritual and religious beliefs, right? And after being Hellenized, being forced to be another people, to the point where even the scripture says it was forbidden to call oneself an Israelite. It had to be in the Maccabees though, but I believe it is a scripture that says that I ain't gonna go too deep for it, but it's a scripture in the Maccabees that it shows at the time of the Hellenization that Israelites were forced not to practice the Sabbath. They was even forbidden to call themselves verbatim Jews, but they were forbidden to call themselves the children of Israel. So after all these years of being forced to, not be yourself, right? And today the Israelites have their heritage. And today they've had their heritage removed from them for years. Your language, your culture, your belief system has been removed from you, that you might speak the tongue of your enemies, that you might practice the culture of your enemies, that you might practice the belief system and serve these other gods of your enemies. That's the breakdown on that. So Acts 10:9. On the morrow, as they went on a journey and drew nigh unto the city, Peter went up to the housetop to pray. About the 6th hour, he became very hungry and would have eaten, but while they made ready, he fell into a trance. So this is the part right here. Trance. What is a trance? He essentially, he wasn't really the most conscious person at that time. It says for trance, casting down for our face, state, displacement. What? Alienation of mind, such make a lunatic. A throwing of the mind out of his normal state. Okay, that could be it. But the point being is that he wasn't. He was kind of like in a sleep, kind of like in a vision, in a way, and saw heaven open and certain vessels descending onto him, and it had been a great sheet knit at the four corners and let down to the earth, wherein were all manner of four-footed beasts of the earth, and wild pigs, and creeping things, fowls of the air. And there came a voice to him, Rise, Peter, kill and eat. But Peter said, No, not so, Lord, for I've never eaten anything that is common or unclean. And a voice spake unto him again a second time, What Yahweh had cleansed, that call not thou common. This was done thrice, and the vessel was received up again into heaven. And this is where the Christians stop reading. They don't even want to go into the next part. They just see the book, close the book. All right, we can eat whatever we want to eat. No, verse 17. Now while Peter doubted in himself what this vision, it was a vision, right? What this vision, which he had seen, should mean, behold, the men which were sent from Cornelius had made an inquiry for Simon's house, and stood before the gate, and called and asked whether Simon, which was surnamed Peter, were lodged there. While Peter thought on the vision, the Spirit said unto him, Behold, 3 men seek thee. Arise. See, so this vision pertains to meeting Cornelius. Arise, therefore, and get thee down. Go with them, doubting nothing, for I have sent them. Right? Then Peter went down to the men which were sent unto him from Cornelius, and said, Behold, I am he whom ye seek. What is the cause wherefore ye are come? And they said, Cornelius and centurion, a just man, one that feareth the Lord. So this is an Israelite. Off that alone. And of good report among all the nation of the Jews. So he getting along with Jake. He's Jake. Okay. Period. It says, was warned from the Lord by a holy angel. Jake. This is Jake. Why is he getting these messages? It says, to send for thee into his house, and to hear the words of thee. Then called he them, and lodged them. And on the morrow Peter went away with them, and certain brethren from Joppa accompanied him. So that's what the vision was about. It was about it was really concerning the Cornelius. And Cornelius wasn't of what at the time you would consider the Jewry, who grew up knowing the law, practicing the law, who grew up, he grew up among the heathen, with the heathen, practicing heathenish heritage, heathenish customs. So that's what that was about, to break that down. But I just brought all of that out, just to say that swine's flesh is sin to touch. Despite whatever Christians try to do, they try to go and do this little loophole, and it's a loopholes and all throughout their doctrine. It still don't work. I chopped it up, chewed it up, spit it out, done. It's that simple, like that. You can't get around it. So hopefully that was edifying. Shalom.